my parents do have a full and rich life. And I also want to thank my parents for spending their life together, or if it wasn't them.
And that's not good either.
Well, we wouldn't exist. You guys might still be here, but as for marriage, I think marriage is not an easy thing, as any married person I think can attest to. But my parents, any marriage, there's ups and downs, and you persevere. And I'm just proud that my parents made it to 50 years. Extremely happy for them, and I hear the first 50 is tough, so the next 50 down pat. And I just want to say you guys mean the world to me, and I love you very much.
So they were married in 1961. Let's just go back to 1961 for a second. Kenya was inaugurated. Our current president was born. Yankees won the World Series. The Giants lost the Super Bowl. Let's hope it doesn't happen tomorrow. West Side Story was hit the big screens and won an Academy Award. Moon River was the record of the year. The population of the U.S. was 183 million. Postage stamp, 4 cents. Gallon of gas, 27 cents. Unemployment was 5.5%. We haven't been to the moon yet. OPEC was formed, and the Berlin Wall went up. When I speak to my parents about 1961, they say that, they say that it was a time of peace and prosperity and innocence. Didn't have to worry about jobs because jobs were plentiful. To give you a sense of the time, my parents both worked at Pan Am, and my mom, Nikita Khrushchev flew into JFK and had his plane parked off on the runway. And my mom and her friend Carol, where's Carol? There's Carol. Decided to take a stroll and take an unauthorized tour of the plane. Which now would never happen, but so they, during lunch walked out and, walked up the steps and walked into the plane and walked through the entire plane. Could you imagine that happening now? While they were doing that, he was at the UN, and he was famously banging his shoe on the table when the Philippine delegation said that he was swallowing up Eastern Europe. So as I said, my parents both worked for Pan Am. My father was recently out of the Air Force. For those of you who don't know Pan Am, it's just another American airline that famously went bust. But
Actually, it was just a show.
in the 1960s, Pan Am was innovative and it was a great place to work. They built one of the first computerized reservation systems, which my father worked on. So in what year was that? December 17th, 1960, they met. They were at the Garden City Hotel. Carol was there. Where's Carol? And her husband Bart, or future husband Bart, and they were getting ready to leave, and Bart was getting the coats, and my mother and Carol were standing together. My father comes up and says, "Would you like to dance?" And Bart comes over with the coats, and Carol's like, "What should we do with the coats?" And she goes, "I don't care, throw them on a chair." And what did they dance to? Bye Bye Blackbird. And it was a whirlwind romance. My father proposed 6 months later in my mother's parents' living room. And the Leitzes are famous for sweeping women off their feet. They were married December 2nd, 1961 at the Holy Name of Mary Church in Valley Stream. Her father, Jack, walked her down the aisle. Front row was her mother, Flo. And my father's parents were there, Marga and Julius. And then they went on to Hawaii for 2 weeks on their honeymoon. The first apartment in South Ozone Park, 125th Street and Rockaway Boulevard. The rent was high out there. $85 a month. My father drove a red 1958 convertible Chevy. He made sure I knew it was a V8. My mom drew a 1959 Ford. He made sure I knew it was a V6. So here we are. We're 50 years later, and we're surrounded by old friends and new friends. We're all here to celebrate their commitment to each other and the life that they've lived together. And I can tell you that, as Jimmy said, I'm very pleased that you guys made it through. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here. They wouldn't be here. Jimmy wouldn't be here. Sienna, Anna, and Kathy would be here, but so anyway, let's just give them a great round of applause.
I want to say something. My husband is Art's brother. Mary Ann and Art's first date was New Year's Eve at our house, and when Arthur left with her, I turned to my husband and said, he's going to marry that girl. And a year later, he did.